If you've been playing ESO recently, you've probably felt like something's a bit off. It's not just that normal lag or issues that we've seen where the game might shudder in PvP, PvE, dungeons, trials. There seems like there's a bigger problem here. There's been a lot of talk about audio desync on all platforms, delayed abilities, rubber banding, and combat that feels like it's happening a half a second or a second behind your inputs. And the most important thing here is you're not alone because there are tons and tons of posts across the ESO official forums, Reddit's forums, Steam's forums, on Discord, and even people in game talking about this issue. And these aren't just players in certain regions or certain areas or certain times of the day. These are all players in the game. Players with, great internet, players with decent internet, and even players, with not as good internet. And luckily for me, I have fiber here where I live. I have a gig up, a gig down. I have the ability to actually see my in game ping and frames on my recording device as I'm playing, no matter what game I'm playing. But I have been experiencing these exact same issues as anyone around the world that's been experiencing them. It seems like my sound begins to cut out, and it might be something that cuts out where it's just, you hear nothing when you summon your mount. It might be something where you're dealing with an NPC with audio. You don't hear them talking for a second. And then some players are reporting that their sound completely goes away. And after that is kind of where I see a lot of these other problems kind of come into the game where you might have some rubber banding. I have not had rubber banding as bad as some players have reported, but the main place where I can see this is the abilities with a pretty big delay at times. And what's odd, of course, is I can check my ping in game when I log in and start playing. My ping normally at home is about 4 to 10. When I play ESO, it's anywhere from about 20 to, at the worst case, 30 or 40. And as of late on the PS5, and I even downloaded, and if you want to do this, you can as well. There are options to download add-ons that show your in-game ping and your in-game latency. I wanted to make sure there wasn't something on my end that I was missing, so I downloaded those options to make sure that I could see my ping in game and my latency, or excuse me, my frames in game, and kind of compare them to what I could see, of course, on my recording device. And they were pretty much identical. They might have been a couple numbers off, but it wasn't anything too crazy. But at the time where I start to see or experience the audio cutout, and then, of course, the abilities having a bit of a delay, is when I started to see my frames in game drop, but mainly the ping just increase out the roof. Mine was going anywhere from 100 to maybe 3 at times, but it was staying between 100 and 200 for the most part. There are some players that are reporting ping spikes of 999 plus, which is absolutely insane. Now, the odd thing for me was I could turn the game off and restart it, and that ping would never settle back down. It seems like it just continuously stayed like that if I tried to play anymore around the time that I did experience it. And we all know that they are doing some type of maintenance on the game at all times, even though if it's not something we have to physically download. There's always back end maintenance going on in most games we play. A lot of people call it ghost maintenance. It's things they can put into the game and input into the game without us actually having to physically download it, just back end fixes. And we all probably can assume they're also doing some things for crossplay because we know that is coming to the game at some point, and I'm sure they do have to work on the servers with that as well. And I'm not sure if that is the main issue we're seeing right now, because the lag had stopped for some players, not for others. But over the years, it seems to kind of fluctuate at times where sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's kind of in between, depending on, your situation with your internet. But as of right now, it seems like everyone is experiencing this. And the pattern is pretty consistent. Most players are, like I said, reporting this getting worse after patches. They're seeing audio desyncs all the time, the ability delays, and then they start to see the big spikes in latency or rubber banding. And these are players in North America or the North America server or the EU server. No matter where they live in the world, they're describing the exact same symptoms. And what's interesting is if you get on the forums, a lot of these players are experiencing these problems at the exact same time. So that shows there is a bigger issue here. Now, ZOS has said a few things over the last couple of months, kind of the same thing you always expect, restart your router, the same old, blah, blah, blah. But they have come out, of course, with more posts over the years. And we can go all the way back to like 2024 when they wanted players to make sure they sent in screenshots, video as often as possible when these problems happen so they could get their engineers working on it as it was going on. And that is still the best thing we can get from the devs right now. So make sure that you're recording short clips showing your audio delay, your lag, your rubber banding. Also, if you have the ability to show your ping in game, where you can take a picture of it before and after, it goes up. If it goes up in a large amount, like mine has been as of late, make sure that you're supporting or submitting, a support ticket with all of this evidence as often as you can. Because if we post these findings publicly on all of these different outlets we can use, of course, like, the forums and Reddit and pretty much anything that you can get this out on, that's going to probably get us some more answers, or hopefully, I will say, get us some more answers from the dev team with some more consistent reports, because this has been going on over the last couple of months. And I've been kind of waiting to make this video because I was not sure if this was something that was going to end up fixing itself eventually after some updates were out, or if it was going to kind of level out. I was not sure, but it seems like it's only getting worse. And a lot of players are reporting, like I said, the exact same issues at the exact same time. And ESO is a incredible game because if you play it, I know you probably really enjoy it. And it has a very passionate community. But right now, the game is struggling a bit, and some players are saying it is almost unplayable for them at times with the lag. And I'm hoping we get some more answers from the devs soon, because as of late, at least this year, they have been doing a really good job of answering questions and giving players feedback. And I'm hoping we will continue to get that support with this issue as well, because like I said, ESO has always had lag problems. And even back to 2024, when they put out that big post talking about the lag issues, unfortunately, it's still going on, and we're in 2026. And it seems like it has gotten worse over the last couple of months for a majority of the player base. So as of right now, unfortunately, the only option we have is to submit a ticket. And I have been submitting several with clips and screenshots as of late to kind of, make sure that they're seeing all of this. And hopefully we will get some responses. If we do, I will make a separate video about that. But I just saw some extra posts about this over the last few days, and it seems like they're just continuing to pile up. So I decided to go ahead and make this video. And if you're having any problems, let me know what your experience is, or what platforms you play on, what server you play on, that kind of thing. And hopefully we can get this fixed soon. If you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.